All right, let's talk about it. We haven't seen you in a while. I want to ask you kind of that last fight, what you took out of it, because you made a decision there to fight somebody that was incredibly overweight.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out for you. And I do wonder, is there any regret at all to say, I shouldn't have taken that fight?
No, I don't regret not taking the fight. I had a feeling that she was going to be heavy the whole time in fight camp, so I just knew I had it in my head that no matter what, I'm taking the fight. I showed up, I'm trained for this. I trained really hard. My coaches put a lot into me. So I had, it in the back of my head that when she doesn't make weight, I'm still taking the fight. I wish I hadn't have already had that in my head. I wish I kind of when I found out about the weight cut, I talked with my coaches, and because I don't even think I knew how much weight she was over when I said yes to the fight. It was like, she's not making weight. I'm like, well, weigh-ins hasn't even started, but no, she's definitely not making weight. So, I mean, I knew she was big. I probably should have taken it a little slower. I was really emotional. I had to get out of the bath to get back into the bath, and I probably should have just smart, called my coaches or talked to them in the room and figured it out, and then I would have been less emotional when I found out she was almost 8.5 pounds heavy. So.
Well, that's why I wonder, if there's a lesson to take out of it, because, you did the gangster fighter thing, right? I don't care, I'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. And that's a great attitude to have.
Yeah.
But this is also a profession, a career,
right.
There's expectations, and obviously it's a setback for you. So, I mean, do you think there's a lesson that, not just for yourself, that maybe other fighters can learn too?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely wanted to fight. That's what I think I would have been upset with myself, even today, if I hadn't taken the fight. I've always prided myself on I boxed for 15 years before this, and I always had to fight up a weight class, or a girl with way more experience than me, because it was hard to find fights. So, but now it's acceptable. If she didn't make the weight, she wasn't a professional, people wouldn't have looked down on me for it. They would have been like, yeah, that was okay to do. But because I did take the fight, I got a lot of fans from it, and I got a lot of, very good mail, just people sending me love and support, and I gained a lot from it, even though it did set me back.
Yeah. Any lessons you took from the fight itself? I mean, obviously she's such a specialist at what she does. You're not going to see a lot of people like her probably, but I mean, were there lessons you took from the fight itself as well? Yeah,
I always take lessons from every fight, but definitely losing is a time to learn more lessons. But I pride myself on my fight camps by being perfect. I eat perfect, I train perfect, I do the extra mile, I always, make sure I'm in bed by a certain time. I'm pretty perfect all the time in fight camp. I make sure my warm-up's perfect. My coaches are perfect. I make sure everything around me, my friends are next to me. I bring my friends to every fight camp. I want that. I try to be really perfect. And I'm hearing Mackenzie not training and not caring and not making weight. And I'm like, well, I've done everything perfect. I deserve to win. And in the end of the day, a fight's a fight. You got one person next to you that wants to take your dreams away from you. And I think I learned that you don't need to be perfect to win a fight. You don't need to have the perfect warm-up or the perfect walkout. So I'm just kind of accepting that not everything has to be perfect in my fight camps. I just have to be there, and I have to show up and want to win.
I wondered how you felt about your UFC run so far, because you've obviously had mixed results. You've proven that you can win, but you also look at the names and the people you fought. I mean, you fought some real legitimate competition. So how would you classify your UFC run? I mean, do you feel like you haven't delivered on the way you should, or is it frustrating? Are you happy? What do you think? Yeah,
I think I get tough picks. I think, I'm always getting the, being from the Ultimate Fighter, I had to fight Tatiana, and she's awesome. And even looking at her fights now, I'm like, well, I think I'd already fought her, man, God. But I've always just fought up and coming, undefeated girls. Everyone I've lost to, I fought a girl, Aspen lad, that's now 135 and having a hard time making weight, and I fight at 115. So I feel like I've been unlucky in the draw, but I seem to get good fight every while. It sucks to be a 50% fighter, but I have tough fights, and it's easy to come back from it knowing that the girls that I fought is a higher level of competition. I'm not losing to girls that I don't think deserve to beat me. I'll shake their hand at the end of the night and respect them, because I think I'm a good fighter. So if they beat me, they deserve the respect. Maybe a weird question, but do you relate to Artem Lobov, a guy that gets hated on for his record sometimes? No, I don't know. He's not. I hope I'm better than him. I think there's tons of people in the entire UFC. I don't know, just Artem. Yeah, that's one specific. But there's a lot of people that do get tough picks, and it's like, man, I've seen, their first fight in the UFC, they're getting a stud, and it's like, oh, that, man, you gotta prove yourself. But it's the game, You want to fight the best to be the best. So, I'm not too upset. I wish I had, a little bit easier picks. I wish I was, had a better record. But I am where I am, and I'm excited for this fight.
Talk about this fight. How did it come together? And was this a fight, fellow tough competitor? Is this a fight that you saw coming, or that you thought all along, like, we're kind of intertwined, this is probably going to happen at some point?
Yeah, being in and this was almost, I feel like, what, 2 years ago, 3? I don't even know what date it is. But I knew watching the the elimination fights back in the day that that was probably going to be someone I fought. And then we split up on teams. I'm like, oh, she's going to be someone I fight. And then I ended up not fighting her. But studying and thinking about it and visualizing it, I had started, almost 2 years ago. So it's been a long time that I had the feeling that I was going to fight this girl, and it's good to see, her fights in the UFC now and see how, she's developed and how I've developed, and I'm really confident and excited for this fight.
Do you knowing that you thought it was happening? Did you watch intently? Like, were you tape study watching, or just kind of paying attention? Just paying attention.
She does kind of the same thing still. So easy. She likes to throw this kick a lot. She likes to throw this. She's easy things like she's southpaw. She's long. She's gonna look for the takedown. Easy stuff. After I got the fight, that's when my coaches did more of the studying and a game plan from there.
How do you feel it's going to match up? It seems like it could be a pretty exciting fight.
Yeah, I think so. All the background in boxing that I've had to face a lot of southpaws before. I've had to face a lot of long, rangy fighters, so I don't feel a disadvantage in the striking at all. I feel like my striking is going to really overwhelm her. I'm very I switch stances a lot. It's definitely better for me in the stand-up, but I feel confident to get the takedown and beat her from ground. I don't think that she has a one style. She likes the takedown. She likes jiu-jitsu, but I don't think that she's very dangerous.
So what's the goal here for you? Is it literally just get a win and get back in the win column, or do you feel like you need to show something, maybe prove something to people?
Yeah, I think it's my last fight, so I want to go out there really hard. And can I say that?
Sure.
Okay.
It's done.
I don't know. Yeah, this is a fight that I want to go out there and prove something. I don't think that Ashley's got a losing record in the UFC, so I can't just beat her and slide by with a split decision. I have to go out there and prove that I can beat someone that needs to be out of the UFC. So I'm going to go in there and do that.
Last fight in your contract, is that a decision that you're banking on yourself and risking, or have you just not heard what they want to do next?
I've talked to them, so I won't discuss that. But I know that this is a big fight for me, whether it was the last fight in my contract or not. This is just a fight that I'm going to go out there and prove that I have a better talent than my record shows.
She spent a lot of time training at altitude. Do you think that matters much, or do you feel like it factors in?
No, I think more mentally than it does physically. We've done our research. I've been out here for 2 weeks already, so I've trained here. It's more knowing that what your body's going through is normal, and I've done my rounds and done my time at what minute, and I still have a minute to recover. So it's just my mind and knowing that it is what it is, and I still have a minute to recover, and it'll happen.
So how do you see this one going then? Do you think you go out there and get something done quickly and decisively, or do you think that we might be in for a little back and forth, a little battle? How does this go?
I think I'm going to win in the second round with the TKO victory, whether it's on the ground or on the feet, but definitely see it not going the distance.